Next on Panther Pregame, stopping the number 3 three-point shooting team in the country will be the challenge today. We talked to Conrad Martinez on the prep work being done.
A lot of time spent on defense. I think Coach Fletcher and Corey, they did a great job on it. So I feel like we have improved a lot during the season, and I think it's very important for us.
A 30-win season has High Point back on the national stage, but this isn't the same team that got them here last year. Panther Pregame starts now.
From the Moda Center here in Portland, Oregon, this is Panther Pregame alongside Gabriella Radburn. I'm Jake Busey, and we are delighted for you to join us as we get set to watch the most anticipated matchup of the weekend, and that's the High Point University Panthers taking on Wisconsin in the round of 64. Gab, exciting matchup upcoming today. Talk to me a little bit about what you're feeling.
That's right, Jake. We are in for an absolute treat today with our number 12 seeded High Point University Panthers taking on the number 5 seed Wisconsin Badgers for the first time in both teams' history. Now, one thing that is really important to note is that we don't know if we would be here without first-year head coach Flynn Clayman.
Yeah, Flynn Clayman led the team to a 30-4 record this year. That's the most wins in the Big South Conference. We spoke to him yesterday a little bit about what this season's been about. Take a look.
Yeah, I mean, obviously really happy to be back to back for High Point University. So happy for High Point University, for President Cubain, for Dan Hauser, the support we've gotten from our university. Our students are so excited to be back. It's just added a whole nother layer to the great university that High Point is.
Well, one transfer who immediately contributed to the team this season is Conrad Martinez after spending his past 2 seasons at the University of Arizona.
Yeah, and Conrad Martinez anchors the defense for High Point. They're playing one of the best offensive teams in the country in Wisconsin. Wisconsin shooting in the top 30% from the field. They also are top 5 in the nation when it comes to shooting the 3 ball, so they're going to have their hands full. We spoke to Conrad yesterday on what kind of prep work has been done over the last week gearing up for this matchup. Here's what he had to say.
Well, I feel like defense is very important for us. We started during the summer, high hands, a lot of time spent on defense. I think Coach Fletcher and Corey, they did a great job on it. So I feel like we have improved a lot during the season, and I think it's very important for us.
Well, it's been just over a week and a half since 16 buses full of fans made their way to Johnson City, Tennessee. But now here in Portland, we've had over 200 fans show up to support Panther Nation.
Yep, 290 students made their way on a charter flight yesterday evening. I had the chance to sit down with some of those students and talk to Bradley Taylor from the Office of Student Life about what this has all been about. Take a look. A little less than 2 weeks ago, High Point University fans were traveling out to Johnson City, Tennessee for the Big South tournament, but fast forward less than 2 weeks, and now they're making the trip out west, this time for March Madness. High Point University students made their way to Portland, Oregon late last night to support the Panthers in today's opening matchup against Wisconsin. The university told me that students were chartered on a 290-passenger aircraft out to Portland, completely complimentary. Not every student was able to attend, though. Bradley Taylor from the Office of Student Life explains who qualified for this extraordinary experience.
In January, when conference play started for the Big South, we wanted to create a loyalty program. So that way students knew any home men or women's basketball game, at the end of the game, they could log their points and gain points throughout the season. We also offered that for our road trips and, of course, the Big South Championship in Johnson City. So really, out of about 25 possible points, we had some students with 23, 22, 21. I mean, these are your super fans in Panther Nation.
Students have been gearing up for this moment all season long.
We are just checking in now. Over 200 students from High Point University, as well as faculty and staff who are our chaperones, were flown today into Portland, Oregon. We're super excited. This is a trip that our students really look forward to.
High Point University might be over 2,000 miles from Portland, Oregon, but that does not stop the university from bringing the student section out here.
Absolutely. Well, you know, as we're talking about that home court advantage, I mean, these are the students who know the players. They know our men's basketball and women's basketball programs, right? They're there in the Cubain Center, in those student sections, cheering them on, whether they're maybe members of band, cheer, and dance. They're seniors, maybe they're freshmen, and they're just really interested in school spirit, but they're right there in the student section. And so why not come to an NCAA round 1 game and be right there almost in the student section again cheering on Panther Nation?
Now, if the Panthers win later this morning, they will face the winner of Arkansas and Hawaii on Saturday for that matchup in the round of 32. Reporting for Panther Pregame, I'm Jake Vesey.
In the tournament. It's a completely new year with a completely new team, and it's important to note the impact of transfers on the squad this season. Yeah, 11 newcomers this season for the Panthers. That's something that's going to be really notable in today's matchup. A lot of that starting 5-2 is not here from last year, besides Britton Housen, so it's a really interesting matchup we're going to have, and it's something that, Gab, you took a look a little bit deeper into. Let's take a look at what you found out.
For High Point, this season has been defined by something new, literally. New faces, new roles, and a new identity. The Panthers enter March Madness at 30-4, fresh off a second straight Big South championship. But this is not the same team from a year ago. In fact, it's almost entirely new. High Point returned with a strong team culture from last season, but added 8 transfers who have reshaped this roster. And while Wisconsin guard Nick Boyd understands what kind of team the Panthers are, he may not fully realize how they got here.
I know that they've been together for a while. I think they won a championship last year together and made it to the tournament. Obviously, they had their coach move on, but the assistant coach stepped up and took the job. And yeah, they're just an experienced team, 30 wins, 4 losses. It's not easy to do. So they play fast. They're going to be aggressive, and we're going to have to, bring our hard hats and be ready to play.
Boyd is right about one thing. High Point is experienced, but not in the way you might expect. This is a group that came together quickly, built through the transfer portal, and turned into one of the most dangerous mid-major teams in the country. Rob Martin has led the way, earning Big South Newcomer of the Year honors. Cameron Fletcher, Owen Aquino, Scotty Washington, and Conrad Martinez have added depth, versatility, and experience from across the country, and even across the world. And the results speak for themselves. High Point leads the Big South in scoring and ranks second nationally at 90 points per game, while carrying a 14-game win streak into the tournament. So while this roster may be new on paper, the results say otherwise. The question now, is Wisconsin underestimating just how dangerous this group can be? Because for High Point, these new faces have composed a team that looks ready for the big dance. For Panther Pregame, I'm Gabriella Radburn.
Well, our very own Chase Johnson has been a huge name on social media this week, with so many people drawing comparisons to him and Jack Kolke, and him being labeled a bracket buster. But one thing that's really important about Chase, better than his performance on the court, is just his character. And you were able to talk a little bit to Chase about his experience this past week with the added attention.
Yeah, it's been pretty surreal. It's been pretty crazy. Didn't really expect much of it, and then you obviously go on social media and see a lot about it, but for me, it's just another platform just to proclaim what I believe in, just to proclaim the Lord and what He's done for us.
Well, Gab, before we close tonight, we can't not mention a few big statistics here. Remember, Flynn Clayman's in his first season here as the head coach of the Panthers. He was previously the associate head coach and offensive coordinator under Alan Huss. But something more important to mention is High Point has the longest win streak in the nation. That's definitely important to note, Jake, especially as Wisconsin's coming into this matchup after their 2-1 performance at the Big Ten Championships and losing to losing to Michigan. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely something to look at. One other thing to look at, which we found really interesting, is Wisconsin previously played this 12-5 matchup 4 times. They lost all 4 of those matchups that they've played in, the 4 times they played in that matchup. And something else to look at, Gab, is this is one of the most sought-after matchups. At 12-5, 35% of the time, the Panthers, or the 12th seed, takes that win. So that's something really we'll be looking at as we look forward to today's matchup ahead, right? Definitely. It's hard to determine who a Cinderella team will be before the tournament starts, but High Point is poised to take that spot. Especially as Wisconsin struggles to play defensively a lot, it'll be interesting to see how they're able to handle a guy like Rob Martin and the Panthers. When they have the ball, they're going to let you know that they have the ball, and they're going to take the ball and score. Yeah, absolutely. And one other thing, Wisconsin has won 9 quad 1 wins this year. High Point has yet to play a quad 1 opponent. So another thing that's going to really show if High Point can play defense, something that they've stressed all season long, getting out on the 3-point line to guard a Wisconsin team that's shooting top 5 in the nation from 3-point percentage. But Gab, that'll do it from us here in Portland, Oregon. We hope you'll join us after the game for Panther post game, and we'll keep you updated on social media as the game goes on. Make sure you tune in to TBS to watch our Panthers coming up shortly after this. Yep, that'll do it for us here in Portland. For Panther Pregame, I'm Jake Vesey. And I'm Gabriella Radburn.